Hi guys, this is O-Level Chemistry, paper 11, June 2016, question 31. The diagram shows the structure of brass. So this contains zinc atoms and copper atoms. So brass is an alloy of zinc and copper in which zinc and copper atoms are mixed together. Why is brass harder than pure copper? The zinc atoms form strong covalent bonds with copper atoms? No, zinc and copper are both metals. They will not be forming covalent bonds with each other. The zinc atoms prevent layers of copper atoms from sliding over each other. Yes, as you can see, the size of the zinc atoms is larger than the size of the copper atom. If all of the atoms were of equal size, then the layers would be able to slide over one another. However, zinc atoms being larger would prevent the layers of copper from sliding over each other, making the structure of brass harder than that of copper. The zinc atoms prevent the sea of electrons from moving freely in the solid. Zinc atoms themselves are atoms of metals. They will have sea of electrons moving freely. Zinc atoms have more electrons than copper. This does not in any way explain why this makes brass harder than copper. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question 32. Which pollutant causes eutrophication in rivers? Okay, acid rain. Acid rain itself is a result of pollutants in the atmosphere. It is not a cause of eutrophication in rivers. Carbon monoxide is a pollutant gas formed from incomplete combustion of fuels and is a greenhouse gas. Fertilizers. Fertilizers themselves are not pollutants. However, if they reach rivers, they would cause excessive growth of blue-green algae, which would consume all the oxygen present in the river water, resulting in the death of aquatic life. Following which, the blue-green algae themselves would die. This is the process of eutrophication and is caused by fertilizers entering river water. Therefore, for rivers, fertilizers are pollutants. Metal compounds. Metal compounds do not cause eutrophication. They are responsible for heavy metal poisoning. This makes option C the correct option for this question. Question 33. How many moles of hydrogen chloride are formed when 1 mole of methane reacts with a large excess of chlorine and sunlight? So, methane is CH4. And when CH4 reacts with chlorine, it is an alkane undergoing substitution reaction. So, all the 4 hydrogen atoms will be substituted because we have got excess of chlorine present. So, this would react with 4 moles of Cl2 producing CCl4, which is carbon tetrachloride, and all the 4 hydrogen atoms that have been substituted will be combining with chlorine atoms forming 4 moles of HCl. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option D. Question 34. Which statement about alcohols are correct? All alcohols contain the hydroxide ion? No. Alcohols are neutral compounds. They will not be containing hydroxide ions because hydroxide ions would make them basic. And also, alcohols are covalent compounds. Presence of hydroxide ions would mean that they are ionic in nature, which is incorrect. Ethanol can be formed from ethene using a reaction catalyzed by yeast. This reaction is possible, but not with the use of yeast as a catalyst. It is with the use of H3PO4 as a catalyst. Methanol can be oxidized to methanoic acid. Yes, carboxylic acids are formed on oxidation of alcohols. So methanol will form methanoic acid, ethanol will form ethanoic acid, propanol will form propanoic acid, butanol will form butanoic acid, so on and so forth. Alcohols X and Y shown are isomers. So in order for them to be isomers, they must have the same molecular formula. So let's find out the molecular formula of each alcohol. So for X, it is C4H10O, and for Y, it is C4H10O. Since X and Y both have the same molecular formula, it makes them isomers of each other. Statement 4 becomes correct. So for this question, statements 3 and 4 are correct. making option D the correct option for this question. Question 35. Amino acids are essential building blocks in the human body. Macromolecules in food are hydrolyzed to form amino acids. Which macromolecules provide the body with amino acids? Okay, so amino acids are the monomers that undergo condensation polymerization to form polyamides called proteins. So macromolecules in the food that are hydrolyzed to form amino acids are proteins. So the options include carbohydrates, which are polymers of sugars, fats, which are polyesters, proteins, which is the correct option, and sugars, which are the monomers for carbohydrates. Therefore, option C is the correct option for this question. Question 36. Ethanol was reacted with propanoic acid in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. So, alcohol reacts with carboxylic acid in an esterification reaction to form esters and produce water. So since water is removed, this is known as a condensation reaction. So which statement about the organic product of the reaction is correct? It has the formula C5H10O2, we'll need to check. It has the formula C5H12O3, will need to be checked. It is formed by addition reaction? No, it is formed by condensation reaction. It is propyl ethanoate. This needs to be checked. So in order to check whether options A, B, or D is correct, we need to form the structure of the ester. So in this ester, we have propanoic acid, which is a 3-carbon carboxylic acid. So CH3, CH2, C double bond O, and then we have an alcohol with 2 carbon atoms. So single bond O, CH2, CH3. So in order to check for its molecular formula, we'll count the number of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. So carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon atoms are present. Hydrogen, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hydrogen atoms are present, and O2. So the molecular formula of this ester is C5H10O2 as given in option A, and not C5H12O3 as given in option B. Now, in order to name this ester, the alcohol contains 2 carbon atoms. So this would be called ethyl, and the carboxylic acid contains 3 carbon atoms, so it will be called propanoate. So the name of the ester is ethyl propanoate and not propyl ethanoate as mentioned in option D, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 37. How can alkenes be manufactured? So by polymerization reaction, polymerization reaction is a reaction of alkenes. Alkenes undergo addition polymerization to form polyalkenes, which are saturated hydrocarbons. That means they do not have a double bond present. So this is a reaction of alkene, not a way of manufacturing them. Next, by the addition of hydrogen to unsaturated vegetable oils, again, unsaturated vegetable oils are alkenes. If we hydrogenate them, the double bond no longer exists. It is replaced by 2 single bonds with between carbon and hydrogen. So we have formation of a saturated vegetable oil, which is not the manufacture of alkene, it is a reaction of alkene. Next, by the combustion of alkanes. Alkanes, when burnt in oxygen, would produce carbon dioxide and water and not alkenes. By the cracking of hydrocarbons. Yes, hydrocarbons are large fraction alkanes that result in the formation of alkanes and alkenes, or alkenes and hydrogen gas. So in either of the reaction, formation of alkenes is a must. Therefore, cracking of hydrocarbons is definitely a method of manufacturing alkenes, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 38. Which statement about alkanes is correct? Ethane reacts with chlorine in an addition reaction? No. Alkanes react with halogens by undergoing substitution reactions, where hydrogen are substituted by the halogen atoms. Next, propane has a higher boiling point than butane. No, butane has 4 carbon atoms, propane has 3 carbon atoms. The MR of butane is greater than the MR of propane. So butane will have a higher boiling point than propane. Next, the molecule of alkane has alkane that contains 99 carbon atoms has 200 hydrogen atoms. So the general formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2. So if n equals 99, 2n would be equal to 99 into 2, which is 198, and 2n plus 2 would be equal to 198 plus 2, which gives us 200. So this is correct. Next, there are three isomers with the formula C4H10. So C4H10, first we would have CH3, CH2, CH2, and CH2. And next, we would substitute one of the CH3 groups to the central carbon atom. So we will be left with CH3, CH, CH3, and the CH3 that remains will be attached here. So these are two isomers of C4H10 that are possible. A third isomer is not possible. So there are three isomers with the formula C4H10. No, there are only two isomers with this formula. This makes option C the correct option for this question. Question 39. Which statement about ethanoic acid is correct? Ethanoic acid can be made by the catalyzed addition of steam to ethene. Okay, when steam is added to ethene, this forms ethanol, not ethanoic acid. Propanoic acid can react with ethanoic acid to produce an ester. Carboxylic acids react with alcohols to produce ester, not with other carboxylic acids. Solution of 1 mole per dm cube ethanoic acid and 1 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid will react with the magnesium at equal rates. No, ethanoic acid is a weak acid, whereas hydrochloric acid is a strong acid. And we are using equal concentrations of both acids. So the rate of reaction with magnesium would be faster for the stronger acid and slower for the weaker acid. It will not be the same. And the formula of ethanoic acid is CH3COOH. Yes, CH3COOH contains two carbon atoms. So that is the correct formula for ethanoic acid. So this makes option D the correct option for this question. Question 40. Polymer Z has the structure shown. Okay, so this polymer has presence of amide bonds. All the bonds present between the monomers are amide bonds. Okay, so this is a polyamide. These four terms can be used to describe polymers. Addition, polymer, no. Amide bonds are formed in condensation polymerization. So next, condensation polymer, yes. Next, polyamide, yes. Next, polyester, no. There are no ester bonds present in this polymer. Therefore, since terms 2 and 3 are correct, option C is the correct option for this question.